It's another day and business as usual down in Orlando, Florida at the Performance Center, where I just saw the photos of the new PC recruits, the new Performance Center trainees that are hopeful to one day maybe get a spot on that already filled NXT roster. Yeah, that NXT roster that is so filled that top names can't even get takeover matches. And then, if you make it down in NXT, maybe you get that illustrious promotion to WWE's main roster, where I hope you enjoy entertaining everybody on live events and at house shows, because that's the only place anybody is going to be able to see you, is at those house shows. And if you're lucky enough to perform on a TV night, I hope you like dark matches, cause you ain't getting a shred of airtime, not 1 second. Enjoy catering, that's the closest you're gonna get to the ring come TV time. Enjoy catering because that's the only spot you'll be backstage. That is what these recruits have to look forward to, because this crop of recruits won't be the last. Next month there'll be another crop, and then another crop, and the rosters will continue to get filled. Triple H will continue to eat up every indie star he can across the world, like Pac-Man. I'm gonna eat up talent like Pac-Man. And not address the issue at hand. The WWE main roster is so overcrowded that it trickled down to the NXT roster, and now that is super overcrowded. And now what we have is a mind-boggling circumstance where top stars, anywhere they would compete in the world, there will be top stars. They are gold. They literally have nothing for them. We're not talking injuries that are keeping top names off of television. We're talking they have nothing for them. They're either sitting on the sidelines or they're actually wrestling at just live events or in dark matches before or after the TV tapings. Superstars like Shinsuke Nakamura, Ember Moon, Kairi Sane. Should I really go on? Aleister Black is cutting promos for the past 6 weeks, along with Bray. We'll wait for the perfect time to debut him. All right, Vince, it's been a month. How about now? We'll wait another month. Let's just keep on doing the vignettes. I have no place for them. The New Day is in hour-long segments on TV. We need to keep pumping the New Day. 20-minute promo, 25-minute match. Kairi Sane isn't injured. Asuka isn't injured. They meshed them together as a tag team because they had nothing for them. Kairi and Asuka, think about those names. They had nothing for them individually. Superstars in NXT, but anywhere in the world they were superstars, especially over there in Japan. So Vince put them together. And even then, after just a couple of weeks, he changed his mind again and said, well, I'm not gonna push them now. I just don't see it in these kids. Let's hold off on them. Put them at live events. No injuries. Literally, Asuka and Kairi are doing the rounds on live events. They were just wrestling a live event just a couple nights ago. They took on Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, actually. That's right, Mandy Rose, who's making the rounds at live events and also has no problem getting herself on TV and in the storylines. Mandy Rose. But Kairi and Asuka isn't in Mandy's league. Kairi and Asuka can't get a shred, a moment of TV time. Mandy Rose is getting it all. One of Vince's blonde bombshells, no doubt. Up there with your Lacey Evanses, who just got a direct push catapulted to TV. Charlotte Flair is getting the world. She'll be surpassing her father's 16-time record in no time, probably within a year. Mandy Rose, Lacey Evans, Charlotte Flair. Did I miss a blonde bombshell that just gets screen time and we're boggling our heads? Why? Oh, I'm sorry. Alexa Bliss. There's a fourth one. Alexa Bliss has been injured the better part of the whole year. And she's still in the most prevalent storylines. Shit, she's going for the championship against Bayley next Sunday. And she's been injured almost a whole year. And even when she's not injured, she doesn't wrestle that much. And I'm not throwing shade at Alexa. I know, I actually like Alexa. For those of you new to the channel, I don't mind Alexa. And that's ballsy to say because this is a pro Sasha Banks channel. So I'm not supposed to be saying I don't mind Alexa. That's like showing up to Universal Studios in a Walt Disney World t-shirt. You don't do it. But I don't mind Alexa. But if I'm going to call it down the middle and say I don't mind her, I'm also going to say it's complete bullshit that she would get all of these storylines and the spotlight on her all the time when Kairi and Asuka can't get shit even when they are formed into a tag team for no reason. It's not even just Asuka and Kairi. Ember Moon is playing with Nintendo Switches in the backstage area every week. She's had so much catering, she's done with it. She's sitting by herself reading books and playing Nintendo Switch. And that's her storyline backstage for the last several weeks. Her book is being thrown to the ground, her Nintendo Switch. Maybe this will lead to 1 week of TV time against Mandy. Who knows? Wow, can she be so lucky? No, Ember Moon is not injured, guys. At live events, just the other day, these are results as well, Ember Moon and Liv Morgan are taking on each other. She was in a dark match, actually, of SmackDown. So she was at the taping, obviously. She did the backstage segment. Vince just doesn't want to put her on TV in a prevalent wrestling match. There's a concept. Ember Moon, a great wrestler, wrestling? Ember Moon took on Liv Morgan in the dark match this week of SmackDown, so nobody got to see it. It is reported that fans chanted twice in that match, "This is awesome." Of course, you would have never known or seen it because Vince didn't allow you to. And it's not just Asuka, Kairi, Ember. Obviously, you can go to the dude, but by the Naomi, don't even get me started. She's busy fucking dancing her ass off backstage every fucking night because they have nothing for her on TV. She has to fucking entertain herself. On the men's side, don't even get me started. Let's start with Nakamura, right? Nakamura versus Balor was another dark match this week at SmackDown. That's right, no injury. Nakamura is ready to go. Put on immaculate wrestling matches. The guy's taking on your Intercontinental title holder, which there's another guy, Finn Balor. He's got a championship, and he couldn't be any more fucking irrelevant than if he didn't have it. He's probably more irrelevant with the title. Nakamura is dancing around with Balor in a dark match this week, just like Ember Moon was. All of these talents, there's so many that are not being utilized. You could literally have your own organization of all of Vince McMahon's NXT castaways that are actually exceptional talents. They wouldn't even all fit in AEW. You can't even say, I wish all of these guys were in AEW. AEW doesn't have nearly enough roster spots. There are so many Vince McMahon castaways that you would need a whole nother organization. At this point, if I'm Triple H, forget the developmental bullshit. Make NXT 2 hours, make TakeOver 7 to 8 matches, and let's cascade these motherfuckers with immaculate wrestling, and let's showcase them to their fans for what they truly are, exceptional talents. Not just forgotten entities. NXT needs to be rehauled. Vince McMahon, let's start with Triple H. They need to put a halt on all this recruiting. They need to stop Pac-Man and on all the roster spots, on all the superstars that they want to fill those roster spots, I should say. They gotta stop signing everybody. They're in panic mode. They want to monopolize the whole wrestling world, and it already failed. AEW is a real thing, and they're gonna be competition most likely in the future. Stop worrying about signing everybody. Look at who you have and let's work with that. You could be an exceptional company as we speak if you just utilized your talents correctly. I don't even know if Vince realizes who he even has in the organization anymore. Stop signing everyone else. I don't want to see any more PC recruits, performance center trainees. More and more signings to NXT. Stop that bullshit. Let's take the stars, because a lot of them are stars, and let's create magic with them. And if you need new people, you'll have a plethora of chances and people to do such with. You don't gotta beg people to come into NXT or beg people to come to the Performance Center. They'll show up with bells on, wrapped in fucking Christmas lights. You will see and you will hear motherfuckers running toward the Performance Center. Stop for now. You're just overcrowding, and this is turning into a fucking circus. I take that back. The circus is more organized than this bullshit. By the way, for those thinking that they've got big plans for Aleister Black, think again, because he's already wrestling at live events. He's actually taking on Randy Orton and losing to Randy Orton. But BC, those are just live events, and that's Randy Orton. Do you honestly think that's not going to carry over to the main roster? To fucking, or should I say the TV shows? He's already on the fucking main roster. You wouldn't have known that, though. Do you honestly think that's not going to carry over to the TV slots? Do you honestly think that in a month or two, this whole somebody fight me shtick isn't going to be a forgotten entity to Vincent Kennedy McMahon's dome piece? He's already losing at live events. I don't care if it's to Randy Orton or God himself. He is losing already. He's touring around, think about it, live events. He's touring around the world, and all these vignettes that are pumping up to be a badass, he's just losing. And do you honestly think Vince, in a month or two after he re-debuts on the main roster, do you think Vince isn't going to get old or fucking toss him away like an old toy? He's not going to get old with that idea? It's not going to get boring to Vince McMahon? The guy thinks like a 4-year-old at most times. You think Aleister Black is the gem that Vince McMahon is going to say, to the moon! Let's strap the rocket to him. He's already losing. Chad Gable. I said Chad Gable, if anybody was going to be the next Kurt Angle, it was fucking Chad Gable. The guy is just amazing in that ring as a singles competitor. Vince loves to stuff this guy with somebody else, a tag team partner at all times. Chad Gable and Jason Jordan. They finally split up, and I'm like, finally, Gable gets to prove himself. And what did Gable do for a whole month? He proved himself that he was worthy of singles championships and TV time on his own. But what did Vince do? Let's throw him another tag partner. Jason Jordan can't compete? Let's put him with Shelton Benjamin. That was a disaster from the beginning, and finally they split up, and I said, finally, Gable can go on his own. And what did Vince do? Let's put him with Bobby Roode. That made as much sense as a peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwich. It doesn't. Bobby Roode and Gable split up. Finally, Gable gets to go on his own. What does Vince do? Let's put him with Apollo. Jason Jordan, Shelton Benjamin, Apollo. Bobby Roode. When does it fucking end with Gable, man? And by the way, on their live events, everybody's talking about the buzz is that, or what we read anyway, people are telling us everyone's loving their matches. Everybody's loving Apollo and Gable's matches. You know, it's just one of those things, guys. I just honestly can't fucking fathom 1,000,000% if shit is happening at your live events and people are loving it. They're screaming, this is awesome. They want to see more of it. I don't understand why you wouldn't give this guy a fucking chance. Not as a tag team with Apollo, but as an actual fucking singles competitor. Because this isn't just happening with Apollo recently. This isn't just Gable and Apollo getting a good reaction. This is Gable all the time. I've seen Gable numerous times live, man, and this guy will fucking captivate you. You don't need to stuff him with somebody else. This guy time and time again shows you, and the crowd tells you he's amazing. And they just don't do anything with this motherfucker. And they just stuff him with tag teams. And even then, this won't lead to anything. He'll probably get a few months of TV time now with Apollo, a new tag team partner. And who the fuck is gonna care? Certainly not Vince and Kennedy McMahon. And they're not gonna put him in anything meaningful. It's gonna be another fucking useless tag team in a pretty much useless tag division. Mind-boggling. You know, we went 10 minutes, and that's it. And I just gave you a plethora of names like Nakamura, fucking Ember Moon, Naomi, Kairi Sane, Asuka, Chad Gable, fucking Aleister Black. You know, and the sad truth is I can keep fucking going. With all of these talents that you could be doing awesome shit with, immaculate storytelling with, and instead we have a pay-per-view next Sunday that is all rematches. All rematches. Becky Lynch, Lacey Evans, rematch for Money in the Bank. I already saw it. Kofi Kingston and Dolph Ziggler, rematch from Super Showdown. I already saw it. Seth Rollins and Corbin, rematch from Super Showdown. I already saw it. Bayley versus Alexa Bliss. Saw that several times. One of the worst matches I've ever seen was actually a what was it called? Fucking Extreme Rules match between Bayley and Alexa. It was one of the worst matches I've ever seen. I just, and there's more rematches too. Forgive me for either forgetting or by accident or just purposely forgetting. But there's other rematches on that card. Oh, I'm sorry, yeah. Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns. Rematch from WrestleMania and about 17 times in 2018 into 2019. In 6-man tags and fucking tag team, you name it, fucking. And they'll add some more rematches as well, I'm sure. There's about 2 to 3 more match slots open. That's your stomping grounds. So they give you a pay-per-view full of rematches when you have all of this talent that just is waiting to get on TV, waiting for you to give them a good storyline, and they will fucking produce the results, wrestling-wise. Or you just gotta let them be. Let them go. They should want to leave at this point if they're not going to be given any more opportunities. And if you're not going to give them opportunities, then you should let them go. Again, AEW doesn't have enough roster spots. I understand that. AEW is not the only other game in town. If you're a pro wrestler, it's the best time in the world to be a pro wrestler. The best time, the best era. There's a lot of places to go. For Asuka, for Kairi, for fucking Nakamura, for all them, they could go right over to Japan. Aleister Black, absolutely, right to Japan. All of them. Nobody has to beg to stay there, and they shouldn't have to be. These are immaculate talents. Kairi, Asuka, Ember. What the fuck? In NXT, you thought they were going to blow the main roster to shreds. They can't even get on the air. I'm not going to, I'm just going to end it there, guys, because I'll just end up repeating myself in just pure frustration. Because I just can't see what this company is doing. And it's like they refuse to stop and realize what's going wrong. They refuse to take any credit for the issues that have arisen and the issues that keep arising. They refuse to take responsibility, and they just keep going forward with business as usual. But the business model that they have has been failing for years. They got the Saudi Arabia money and they got the big Fox deal. When that money dries up, I'd like to see another big TV deal like that with the ratings the way they are and with asses not coming into those arenas. Let me see another deal like that, Vince, that Fox gave you. It ain't gonna happen. When this Saudi Arabia 10-year deal is up and those tens of millions of dollars is up, I want to see another country say, that's who we should be paying all this money for their performers to come over. But it's a dying entity in the United States. Who cares? I want them. Yeah, it ain't gonna happen. You better start pleasing your direct-to-consumer model. You pleased your Fox. You pleased your Saudi Arabia government. Now, you have to get back on track with the audience you have not been pleasing for years. Your direct-to-consumer audience. That's why your merchandise is down. That's why nobody's showing up to your live events. Did you guys see how many seats are still left empty for Stomping Grounds next Sunday? Half the arena is still empty. The scalpers, the ones that put it back on the market, don't even want a piece of that. Because they know it's a lost cause. It is a financial loss. That's bad when scalpers don't even want a piece of that shit. They need to stop. They need to stop and look at all the talent that is sitting in catering, waiting to be used. They have to stop and look at all the talent that is getting "this is awesome" and standing ovation chants at live events, and it's not getting them any moment on TV. They have to stop and look at the morale in the locker room. And if people are not happy, let them go. Let Luke Harper go. Let Sasha Banks go. As much as that would break the Amplified man's heart, I love her, and I think she needs to see and do a lot more in WWE, unfinished business. If she ain't happy, and you have her basically as a prisoner, let her go, along with everyone else that was not happy. You have people begging to go to NXT now. Like Tyler Breeze and so many more begging to get over to... Ty Dillinger said he didn't necessarily want to leave. He was asking to go back to NXT first. So many. And NXT again is becoming overcrowded. That's becoming a fucking cesspool of too many talents. But that's how much and how bad people want to get off the main roster. They're willing to go a level down, even though that's overcrowded, just to get out. And the next level is just leaving WWE as a whole. Unfortunately, that's what it's coming to. There's too many superstars, or lack thereof, but too many wrestlers in this company. And the truth is, over 80% should not be there. I don't want to see people lose their jobs, but is this a conglomerate, badass, #1 company, or is this a sideshow circus? Everybody that's a wrestler shouldn't just get a job. You have to have a roster that is meaningful, a roster that is prestigious. And when you get on the WWE roster, whether NXT or WWE, it actually means something. These days, every week, it seems there's new recruits at the Performance Center, and if you can wrestle, let's have a chance. You could be on NXT in 3 months. You could be knocking Kairi Sane and Shinsuke off the fucking roster. Oh, right, they already are. You can knock them out of catering. Shit, soon it's going to be so overcrowded, they're going to have to start eating their meals outside, in the parking garage, or the external security booths. It'll be a makeshift tent as catering. They won't even be allowed in the building. Too many superstars, and you don't meet the star qualifications. It's an atrocity. It's a tragedy. It's a travesty. It's a fucking criminal act at this point. Stop signing anyone else. Stop it. It's done. See who you have now, which is already overcrowded, and then start weeding out the weak links. I don't give a fuck about blonde bombshells anymore. Or the New Day cutting a 17-minute promo to go to a 22-minute match in a 2-hour show. NXT is not translating to the main roster. It's just not. Vince doesn't know what to do with these guys, and it's obvious. Your WWE champ is Kofi Kingston. He has no ties at all to fucking NXT. Seth Rollins is known as an FCW guy before it was really NXT. There's no affiliations. He's your Universal Champion. Vince doesn't want these NXT guys in those spots. He'll give you the consolation prizes because people forget who the fuck are those champions anyway. So he'll give Balor the IC strap, Samoa Joe the US strap. He just gave the Revival some tag straps. The Iconics will have tag straps. That's all fucking hunky-dory. Those are gonna change hands every other fucking week anyway. He doesn't want NXT guys at all. So if I'm Triple H, I see this and I totally redo my whole business model. Playing Pac-Man and just getting more, and seeing the creations that you have fucking manifested go to fucking Vince and totally get fucking steamrolled. When does that get old? When does that get old, and when do you just have enough? And say, Vince, I put so much time and effort in these guys and gals. Please, can you just not destroy them? The Amplified Man. I'll see you this weekend for the 20th episode ever of BC's Amplified Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm gonna go drink some coffee, kicks the rest. I'll kicks the rest of Thursday's ass. The Amplified Man, saying check you.